Hi guys, I wanted to make a quick video to kind of walk through, I think the research topic that we have in our class can be quite confusing. And so I want to kind of talk about it and maybe clarify it for everyone so that we avoid going off topic. Of course, going off topic can happen because of this confusion. And I don't want anybody to feel bad about, oh no, my question was off topic. Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything about you. It just the topic can be confusing. I think mostly because we're not used to studying, reading, writing, and learning. And so when we hear, I want you to explore a topic of reading, writing, or research in your major, mostly we start thinking about a topic in our major, but there's a difference between these two. So I kind of want to show you the difference, because for our class, for this course and for this essay that we're going to be working on for the next 7 weeks, it has to be on a topic of the reading processes or writing process or research process. I'll even take learning processes or language or communication processes, because they're part of literacy. They're part of this conversation. I'll accept those that are relevant to your chosen major. So what does that mean? That means that I want you to look at how students within the major read and write and learn about whatever they're interested in. So we're really looking at learning within the major. How does that happen? Through reading, through writing, through research, through language and communication, or through other forms of learning strategies. So what does a good question look like for this topic? And what does a question that's off topic but can happen because we're confused to look like? So let's go to, I want to show you that. I'm going to write some questions. And so these first questions I'm going to write are going to be off topic questions. They're going to be questions that are about a topic in the major. But a topic in the major is not about reading processes or writing processes or research process within the major. Let me show you the difference. So an off-topic question that's about a topic in the major might be like, how do or trying to figure this out. What do astronomers know about black holes? Or how do black holes work? So these two questions would be off topic. This is talking about topic information about what they already know, but it isn't asking a question about how they learn something or how they read or how they write. This is just, what do they know? And so this is going to get you information about black holes, but not going to get you any information about the processes of reading, writing, or learning or research. This question also is off topic. It's a topic that would be interesting to someone in the astronomy major. It's related to astronomy, but it's off topic for our class because it has nothing to do with the processes of reading, writing, research, learning, or language, that kind of stuff. So let's say you're an astronomy major and you want to do a research question. What kind of research question can you do in my class? Well, you can do a question about research processes. So you can ask, what research methods do astronomy students use to study black holes? Now, this was interesting because I noticed that that's what the interest is. Maybe a student is really interested in a specific topic. We can look into it a little bit, but not fully. So notice the difference between this question, what do astronomers know about black holes, and this question over here. This question over here is on topic. It studies a process of reading or writing or research, or even of learning or communication, and even language. I'm willing to look at processes of language. This one asks, what research methods, what are the ways people do research in astronomy? What are the ways astronomy students do research on black holes? This one would work. It's not, notice the study here is not black holes. Whoever's doing this research question will not be studying black holes. They'll be studying the methods used to study black holes? And this question would be okay for our class. Let's do one more. So let's say we're a criminal justice major. Sometimes criminal justice majors might want to study like law and stuff. So somebody might say something like, how are criminals prosecuted? Or question mark, right? That is something that a criminal justice major would study. That's on topic for the major, but it's not on topic for our class. We don't study criminals and prosecution in our course. We study reading, writing, and learning. So how can we change that over? Because we need to make ours about about a process of reading, writing, learning, or even research, language, communication. So we can turn around. So we can ask something like, what reading strategies do criminal justice majors have when reading about prosecution? Now that one works. This one is studying not prosecution, but reading strategies, right? And so it has a specific niche. It'll look at specifically the reading strategies for reading stuff about prosecution, as opposed to reading literature or Beethoven or reading stuff about whatever. It's a niche focus, but ultimately this is what will be discussed: reading strategies. So this one works. I'll do one more just for giggles. Let's do something that would be interesting to like an artist. The arts and the engineering, this is harder because they create things and a lot of their studies are about what they create, but that's also stuff that we could study as well. So it can kind of mesh. In some situations, it can mesh. So let's say someone in art wants to study what how, or trying to think of a topic. What are the interpretations of Renaissance poetry or Renaissance painting? Sorry. This question, or if it was more specific, like the paintings of, I don't know, somebody or other. I clearly don't know anything about paintings. I'm not very cultured. But so this one is a toughie, but it would actually still be off topic because it's really just talking about a specific painting, and that would be a meaningful topic for someone who's invested as an art major. But it doesn't really tell us too much about how interpretations work or how reading or writing happen. Now, there is something that this person can do if they're really interested in interpretations. So how do we make it on topic? Well, we change it up a little bit. How do art students or art majors learn to interpret art? Or if you want to go more specific, Renaissance artwork. Now it's similar, but it's no longer talking about what that specific painting would mean, which would be off topic. And we're focusing on how we come to understand, or how do we interpret, how do we take meaning from paintings versus what is the specific meaning of this painting. And that's the kind of the difference. I know it seems that one's a little harder because in the arts, a lot of what we do is very similar, but when you're looking at one painting and that interpretation, it can go off into all kinds of places, like, oh, it's a feminist reading, or oh, it's this, which has, again, it's not studying how we come to those understandings. And so you can study how we learn to interpret, but you can't do an interpretation of a piece of art or a reading or something like that. I hope that this was a little bit helpful. I know it can be tricky. And what I want to say is ultimately, don't worry too much. Give me the question as best you can. And if it is off topic, I'll go in there and I will give you feedback. If we can catch it early enough, if you're submitting your work early, sometimes I'll catch it early and we can pivot and get it resubmitted before the deadline. But here's a good way to know if your question is off topic. If you get anywhere from a 70 to an 89, your question is off topic. So pay attention to the grade that comes in over the weekend. 70s are more like, oh, they're really, really off topic, and we're going to have to kind of rehaul the whole question. 80s are more like they're off topic, but a few changes here and there will get you right back on topic. And if you have anywhere from a 90 to 100, you're on topic. You have a good question. Maybe you got a 90 because you didn't follow directions specifically, but it's still really, really good. It's still a really good question, and you can move forward. So I hope that this video helps you understand the kinds of questions that we're looking for. And of course, if you're still more confused than ever because I'm a confusing teacher, and I'm sorry, come into my office hours. Tomorrow I'll have office hours from 2:30 to 5 o'clock. Because I'm going to be in meetings earlier in the day, and so I have to start my office hours 30 minutes later, but I will be available. So please, via Zoom, come on in. I hope that I do see some of you there. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and I'm going to do one more video for people who are interested in using AI in a bit. So be on the lookout for that.